Hi guys, welcome to Finish Awesome Friday. This week I just wanted to go over the sort of second part of a video that I did a few weeks ago regards men and women and how they should be training differently, or should they be training differently, and basically talking more about the sort of the muscle, the volume work that both can do. Obviously in terms of intensity, as I said before, both men and women should be doing the very basics. They both should be squatting, pushing, pulling, moving through space, and doing conditioning. Those things, without doubt, are something that all males and females should do, and there shouldn't be too much different from there. Everything else is just the fluff, and you can start, literally adding what you want to it. But as long as you're doing those key main things, you'll get the results you want, and that's pretty much a guarantee. You couldn't be more sort of specific than that. Why should a female do anything different to a male? I don't know. The human body is pretty much 99.9% the same, hormonally, obviously, and certain levels of sort of testosterone and things like that. Obviously, the chemicals that are in the body obviously are going to be different, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily move or change anything from there. Okay, there's certain tweaks you can make, and there's certain things of each individual that you will change, and that's what makes an individual program for a person. But the sort of the meat and potatoes of it, the main point of a program should be it focuses on strength and movement and conditioning. Okay, and that is it. So anybody that says anything different to you in terms of that you need to concentrate on these areas, or you need something more specific to yourself, are just trying to sell you a product. Okay, so we move on to the volume. Okay, we move on to, as I say, muscle building and sort of the sort of recovery work and everything else from each one. So men and women, in terms of how they are different. Okay, women obviously can work at slightly higher intensities, because as we discussed in the last video, from a percentage standpoint, if you get a female and get her to do a 1 rep max on a back squat, and you get a male and get them to do a 1 rep max on a back squat, and then take away 90%, it's more likely that the female will rock out a lot more reps than the male, because they seem to be able to do, as I say, much higher volume at higher intensities than their male counterparts. So with that, obviously females can work with heavier weights for hypertrophy for muscle, okay, than the males relative to their 1 repetition max. So rather than stating percentages and saying that you get hypertrophy between, say, 60 and 80%, which is pretty much true, females might be able to actually go a little heavier than that. They might be able to go into the 80s towards the 90% and still get the same sort of repetitions that you would expect for the male. So when you're talking about repetitions, you would normally say that if you're going to work in that percentage range, that's 60 to 80%. With males, you might find that they do slightly less reps to the set. Females might do slightly more, and it can be tweaked from there. You'll see on individual, each person, how that changes. Okay, and if you train yourself, you'll see how that works. Okay. The next step, really, men generally spend a lot more time resting between sets, and females generally, when you train them, they're just ready to go straight away back into it. Now again, whether that's to the case that they're not using the correct intensity in terms of the weight they're using, you normally find that females tend to take a step back in terms of intensity and don't go as hard, whereas males try to use as much weight as they can despite the form. So with that, as in anything really, there's an in-between, there's a middle ground where we can sit. Normally with males, I normally try to get them to go a bit faster. With myself, I like to try and keep it that my recovery ability, okay, my ability to get back to that barbell, to get back to the next set, if I concentrate on keeping that short and keeping the density low, it obviously has a great effect in terms of the sort of the way your body looks and the way the body feels, and the sort of the muscle you can grow. Compared to the females, sometimes you have to slow them down a little bit, because they want to keep going and go back to the bar faster. They won't take that rest. So for them, there's a sort of an in-between. You sort of can push that out and say, maybe we should rest a little bit more between sets, or give them a specific rest time and say, right, you're going to rest for 30 seconds or something, just so it gives them an opportunity to recover and come back to the barbell. So again, that's a slight difference from there, but again, it's not a case of saying that they're completely different. It's just saying there's a middle ground that both can actually reach to and get a very similar sort of effect from the training program. Okay, so as I say, women generally will need to have a little bit more rest, and males sometimes a little bit less rest than they're looking to do. Okay. Now, the main gripe with individualization training, okay, when it's talking about men and women. Okay, so obviously the main areas that women want to work on there are sort of the lower body areas. Okay, so we're talking glutes, thighs, and stomach. Okay, that's generally, you know, areas from there. Obviously, you know, women obviously talk about their bingo wings and things like that as well. But that comes with you know, dropping the body weight and working from there. So they're talking about toning and talking about firming up the glutes and thighs and the stomach and all those areas from there. Okay, so that the areas of general concentration that personal trainers and females will put on themselves. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, those areas you want to strengthen, those areas you want to get better, but obviously that might not be a particular person's weakness. Okay, same as the males. So the males, obviously, they want to concentrate on the mirror muscles. Okay, the shoulders and traps, the chest, and your arms. Okay, so 9 times out of 10, you get any guy, what they want to do: get bigger arms, get bigger shoulders, get a bigger chest. You know, you might get them say they want bigger traps. You know, it depends who they follow or what they read, but that is generally the idea. So again, more of an upper body focus. Now the reason that is because obviously females, relative to their male counterparts, are stronger and you know, just generally are better in the lower body department than males, and males seem to do better and are stronger and are more adapted in the upper body department. So it makes sense that that is the area of training that they swing to, and also the area that they like to enhance. Okay, but both should look at their weaknesses at all times. Okay, and actually what you'll find is with most females, as long as you're getting them squatting, pushing and pulling and getting them to perform you know, these movements at better intensities and volumes and everything else, the glutes, the hamstrings, the back, the stomach, all those sort of things, they start coming into play. So the lower body is getting hit pretty well. What they lack and what comes to fruition as they're training is their weaknesses in the upper body. So what you actually find with women is that they need to work more on their shoulders, on their upper back, on their arms, on their chest, on these movements from there. Okay, yes, they should be working on their glutes and thighs and all the rest of it. There should be a balanced program that should allow them to work on those areas and to build those areas. But where most females lack is the upper body strength and development of muscle to be able to produce that strength and be able to build it. For the male counterparts, it's the complete opposite. They love working those mirror muscles, they love working the upper body. It's very rare you'll meet a male in the general public that loves working those legs, okay, and start drilling those legs and getting into squatting and deadlifting and all the rest of it from there. So what you'll find that most males have to focus on is the upper things, okay, those glutes, those thighs, that stomach, okay. They're areas that males generally need to work a bit more on to bring up to sort of balance the body, and that's what it's all about. It's about that balance, because over years and years of training, you bias towards what you're good at and what you like, and you forget about what you're not good at, and you try and, you know, avoid it at all costs. Okay, but as we always know, UP Performance, our goal is to get that balance, to get that general fitness, because otherwise, at the end of the day, you know, if you're not specialising towards something, specialising towards a goal, all you want to do is get fitter, get stronger, get more mobile. Okay, everything else falls into place. Okay, so in terms of assistance work and in terms of muscle building work, what you will find is if you're a male, you know, you probably will find that you're lacking, let's say, in the lower body and the mirror muscles, the non-mirror muscles. So you're talking about your back, your lats, and a couple of in the lower back, and the sort of the unsexy muscles sometimes that you know, don't think about, but they're the muscles that generally need the work the most. Okay, so when it comes to muscle building and what muscles you should be doing, this is where an individual program will come into play. Really, everything else is the same. Okay, so as I say, the meat and potatoes, you're squatting, you're pushing, you're pulling, you're moving. Okay, you got those things in check. The little fluffy bits at the side, if you want to start working on some assistance work or do any sort of additional volume, mostly for the women, I would actually say you want to concentrate a bit more on the upper body, especially around the shoulder girdle area. Okay, you want to make sure that's sort of got a bit more meat on there, and so it can handle a bit more weight and it's a bit more stable than the pressing movements. Okay, because normally females will struggle in the upper body pressing and pulling, so that's something that they need to work on a bit more. And then for males, obviously you need to work a little bit more on, generally, as I say, glutes, hamstrings, lower back, those sort of areas that are going to help bring up your main lifts, going to bring up your squat, going to bring up your deadlifts, okay, but also will balance that body out a little bit more. It's not all about the quads in the lower body, there's other muscles that you need to be working on as well. So that, as I say, in terms of volume, actually probably females and males need to start concentrating on other things. Though you want to work on the glutes, though you want to work on those other things, as I say, for females, you will work on them through a balanced program, but you need to concentrate on bringing up the other lifts with it, so you balance everything out and it's nice and even, and you get the whole body experience and get the best body you can aim for. Okay, guys? So a little sales pitch. Obviously, what I want to start doing is introducing you guys to the Efficient Strength System and the Efficient Nutrition System, which are my projects that I'm working on right now to have out there. My athletes are currently working on the Efficient Strength System. The Nutrition System, though, is something going to be brand new. I'm going to be emailing that to all my everyday athletes to start trying out. I want to start pushing this as just part of what we offer here at UPeak Performance. It's not the be all and end all. It's nothing spectacular in terms of what we offer, but we do it a little bit differently to everyone else, and it's sort of set in stone. We've got some sort of systems and some software in place that's actually going to start really utilising this program, really utilising the nutrition stuff. If you're interested, obviously get in contact with us, leave a message, comment below, or send me a message direct or an email, and I will help you guys out as well and send you the details and take it forward from there. Okay, I want to help as many people as I can in this industry for the short period of time that I will be here on this planet. I need to make my mark, and I believe with this system, the training system and the nutrition system that I've created, I really believe there's a uniqueness there that people enjoy, and I want to get that out to you guys as well if you're interested. So hopefully take that on board, guys, what I've said. Take it with a pinch of salt if you disagree, or if it's something brand new to you and you think, oh wow, that's new information. Obviously get in contact again. I can help you out with your programming and twist it so you can actually start bringing these things into play. Okay, I'm not here to sell you a product. I'm not here to sell you a gadget. I'm here to help you guys. So just ask me any questions you've got and I'll be happy to help out in any way I can. Just be awesome, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Catch you later.